Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
If you still think the deep state is a tinfoil hat conspiracy, then you haven't been paying attention, folks. You have been programmed, and that's what we're trying to break you out of. You know how I know that Trump is not one of them? Talking about the deep state. Because ever since Trump came down that escalator, we've been 99% negative MSM coverage. They tried to remove him from the office. They raided his home, indicted him, arrested him, tried to throw him in jail, and then they shot him 365 days ago yesterday. If he was one of them, they would not have unleashed every weapon in their arsenal trying to stop him. They would have exposed themselves to stop someone. They would not have exposed themselves to stop someone who was not a threat. This is the exact reason the establishment feared Trump, because he poses an existential threat to their power. The deep state have been waging war against Trump, specifically because he's not one of, quote, them. So for those claiming that our trust in Trump is blind, you're mistaken. We've seen it with our own eyes over the last 10 years. Not only is he not one of them, they fear him more than anyone else. It must be for a reason. See, that's good critical thinking, in my opinion. And then you ask yourself, you know, how are we wrong on this? This was, of course, Trump getting shot in the ear. And God bless the Comparatori family, Corey Comparatori. I'm always scared that I'm saying his name wrong, and I probably am, and I hate that. Lost his life that day, and others were injured. And then there are people who still say this was fake. Like this was a sham. He faked it. Like the guy said in the in the email. I mean, I've seen Trump be Trump. He's not that good of an actor. I mean, to pull that off right there and to cut his own ear and make it look like he'd been shot. And then what are you going to do? You're going to shoot other people in the crowd because it was a big setup to say that was all one big, publicity stunt to win the election. And let's be clear, that did overwhelmingly win the election for him.
Yeah, it did, and that was it exposed the failure of the Secret Service.
Well, it really did.
I mean,
and they got no accountability whatsoever.
A lack of concern about the safety of potential, a candidate at that time.
Yeah. And let me say, if Trump was part of the so-called deep state, I mean, what they're saying here, they're doing an awful job of protecting one of their own if he is. I mean, you got to use your brain. This man's been, as you said, raided, impeached twice, indicted more times than a mafia boss, and relentlessly smeared across every media outlet from CNN to MSNBC like he's public enemy number one. So if he were part of the deep state, you got to ask yourself, where's the initiation ceremony? Because usually the deep state protects their assets. They don't throw them under the bus and set the bus on fire and then drive it off a cliff just to make sure the job's done. Trump is a wrecking ball. The deep state's not a conspiracy theory either, folks. It's a network of entrenched bureaucrats, globalist elites, intelligence puppeteers, legacy media gatekeepers. And those people think they run the world regardless of who the people are that get elected. I mean, they live on the backdoor deals and the unaccountable agencies and the FISA courts and the weaponized alphabet organizations. They hate the spotlight. And Trump's the spotlight. And that's why they hate him. He's exposed all of it.
He's so much in the spotlight. I mean, he's on the news every day. You don't even need news sources. It comes right out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Almost daily.
And when they just fired all of those bureaucrats, do you know how hard it is to fire a bureaucrat? I mean, it's absolutely impossible. First of all, because you got not only layers of red tape, but you got civil service protection. So you have bureaucrats that are part of the civil service system, which is designed to protect them from political retaliation or arbitrary firing. So when you start seeing like 1,300 that are leaving the State Department, and you're like, well, that's not very many of them. No, that is a lot of them when you figure the fact that their protections include due process rights, formal reviews, and appeals. You can't just fire them like a private employee. They're like a cancer, man. Once they get in there, you can't get them out.
Yeah, and that's probably only about a third of what needs to go.
Yeah, and the fact that these guys are getting that done proves to me that they ain't deep state.
No, because the deep state wants 5 people doing one man's job.
They want it. They want it that way because they're quiet manipulators. That's why they love lifetime politicians whose staff does the work. You got people like Joe Biden who plays ball, and he follows the orders and forgets what state he's in, but he's useful, he's malleable, and he's invisible. I mean, those guys, that's the way they like it. Trump's a bull in the globalist China shop. He didn't climb up through the Ivy League good old boys network. He didn't kiss the rings in D.C. and get his marching orders from Davos. He's loud. He's uninvited. They didn't want him there. He flipped the table. And they want wars. He brings peace. You know, they said he'd crash the economy. Record job numbers. The tariffs worked. They said he's going to be a dictator. He's giving you more power. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, even today, you know, that he's making NATO pay for weapons that we're supplying to Ukraine.
Yeah, so
he's threatened 100% tariff against Russia within the next 50 days.
Right.
So this is, I mean,
he's called out Israel. So to say he's Israel's puppet, I think he's done a pretty good job of calling out Netanyahu. And he don't know what he's doing. Yeah. I mean, he's the most investigated, slandered, surveilled, indicted, and attacked president in American history. And it's precisely because he's not one of them. Let's show him over there. You got the FIFA trophy. This is just Trump being Trump right here. You know, Trump presents the soccer trophy, and then, you know, they're kind of expecting Trump to get out of the picture on this deal, and Trump doesn't do it. He just stays right in there and hangs out with them. He brings it over there too. Play the clip.
Chelsea are the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup champions.
Trump just stays right there with them.
Come on. No, he wants to stay there.
Yeah, like he was the one kicking the ball.
You're kind of in the spotlight with them. You might as well stay up there and get some of it too.
Yeah, and they don't seem to mind it.
No.
I mean, look at Trump, dude. This is the Trump I enjoy.
He's about to jump up and down.
I mean, he's 78 years old at this point. I mean, it's just crazy.
He's not walking off in a different direction trying to shake nobody's hand.
I love it, dude. I love it. So let's bring up what you said. So this is what happened. Trump has given Russia 50 days to deal with this thing and bring some peace in Ukraine, or they're getting, this is my buddy Gunther Eagleman here, 50 days to strike a peace deal with Ukraine before he enacts secondary tariffs at 100% to cripple them economically. And that'll happen, too, because Russia can't handle, they can't support themselves. No way.
Yeah, and the one thing we do know about Trump, if he says it, he's a man of action. He's going to do it.
He'll do it. He's proven that. Play the clip.
C-SPAN.
I guess they're sitting around waiting for somebody to talk.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great honor to have a friend of mine who's become very friendly over the last number of years. We knew each other before, but Mark is the head of NATO, Mark Rutte, Secretary General of NATO, highly respected by everybody that knows him, but in particular the European countries. They have great reliance on him, and he's done a fantastic job. And we had a tremendous meeting, I guess it's about a month ago. And I think Mark will tell you that it was really perhaps more important the date of November 5th. That was the election day. Maybe that was the most important because we've made tremendous progress together. And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia. But we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today we're going to talk about something else. And as you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine. And would like to see it end. It wasn't my war. It was Biden's war. It's not my war. I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. It can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it.
All right. So Trump, obviously is going to catch flack because of this whole day one. We'll get peace in Ukraine and all of that. But I mean, he is doing something. And there is, they are pursuing peace through strength, like with the NATO deal let those countries supply arms or, weapons to Ukraine. So it's not coming directly from the U.S. So it'd be interesting. I mean, I think this will, pretty soon ought to happen. Something will happen.
I would prefer, though, that he always, I'm disappointed in Putin. I wish he used firmer language with him. Because to me, that's, I'm disappointed in him. I want him to like, hey, you son of a...
Yeah.
And kind of be as hard on him as it does everyone else. Because that's where, and I know he's dealing with, leaders of other worlds and stuff like that, but not worlds, but, countries. But man, you got to keep your language the same all the way across. Yeah. Talk firm to him. I'm disappointed in you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think Trump has had a relationship with Putin that I think he felt like was friendly, for whatever that's worth, and you say stuff like that. People are like, oh yeah, you're admitting that they colluded together. Shut up. I mean,
I'm friendly with people I don't necessarily like.
I mean, you got a lot of people
I
out there
do business with people that I don't necessarily like.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody in business does that. I mean, and go watch the freaking Godfather, for crying out loud. You keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yeah. I mean, that's I mean, these people, they jump off on all this stuff, then they make these accusations, and it's not, again, that's not critical thinking to say something like that. I would like for him to have a friendly relationship with Xi Jinping. I'm not saying that they need to go out there and whatever. I don't mean you got to, trade recipes, but I want him to have a friendly relationship. I was happy when he went to North Korea and met with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Or whatever, Kim Jong-il. What's his name? Il. One was his daddy, one was the son.
And just because
I hadn't heard from him in a long time, that's why I can't think of him.
Just because two people out on a golf course or playing golf together, they may be doing business, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's, they're being friendly.
Well, I've seen all this stuff with Trump, with Chip Roy, Congressman Chip Roy down in Kerrville, Texas this week. And, during this, absolute tragedy in Texas, Chip Roy and Trump, they don't get along. I mean, I've texted Chip before and I've been like, what is it? Why is Trump always after you? And he goes, because I stand by what I believe. And, they've been at odds with each other. But down there with that, they came together and they were working together on a thing.
Yeah.
That's just diplomacy, man.